Imagine a betrayal so profound, it shatters a 7-year marriage and leaves a man unable to forgive, even after a year of desperate attempts to reconcile. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's narrative centers on a woman who committed infidelity, and her husband simply cannot move past it. Here's her story. I, a 29-year-old woman, betrayed my 30-year-old husband over 12 months ago, and he's been making me pay ever since. Is there still a chance to salvage our union? Some background details. My husband and I have been together for nearly 7 years. We exchanged vows within a year of our initial meeting and share 2 children. He is a truly exceptional person. He is attractive, holds an advanced degree, a well-paying career, and had never been unfaithful or disrespectful before this incident. My friends and family frequently remind me how fortunate I am to have him and what an incredible partner he truly is. I once believed we were destined for each other, true soulmates. About a year ago, I went out with friends for a birthday celebration. I drank far too much, ending up sleeping with a man who had openly flirted all night. It had been years since I felt such a rush of positive emotion, and I cannot fully explain why, but I ended up returning to his place. Within moments of grasping my mistake, I called a taxi home. Upon arrival, I confessed to my husband, weeping, consumed by regret, and utterly disgusted with myself for what I had done. He remained quiet, composed, then informed me he wanted a divorce. After persistent pleading, we agreed to attend marriage counseling. During these sessions, he often seems disconnected, simply sitting there and scrolling on his phone. When asked about his feelings or steps to improve, his responses are vague about divorce or highly critical remarks aimed at me. Most of the time, he appears indifferent, staying silent even when directly addressed. When I try to draw him into the discussion, it feels impossible. I understand the gravity of my error, and I have dedicated the entire past year to doing everything possible to mend our relationship. I even consent to sexual acts I find deeply unpleasant, like anal sex, solely for his sake. I've taken on all household duties myself, cleaning, cooking, every chore without his assistance. Whatever he requests, I have fulfilled it. He experiences sudden outbursts, verbally abusing me with terrible names. Sometimes, our children can overhear these arguments from their rooms. Other times, he acts as if I don't exist, walking right past me through the house. He consistently treats our children with affection, never speaking negatively about me to them, shielding them from our disputes. Occasionally, if I don't perform certain acts, regardless of the time, like anal sex or other requests, he begins threatening divorce and abandonment. He also brings up my infidelity, insisting it's all my fault. He claims marrying me was a mistake and uses derogatory terms. I also suspect he has been communicating with another woman, and whenever I confront him, he immediately brings up my own infidelity. I lack concrete proof of him meeting anyone behind my back, but I just desperately want things to return to how they once were. One instance stands out. When I mentioned seeing a message from another woman on his phone, he grabbed my hand, led me to the main hallway, pointed to the door, and declared I could leave if I wished, adding he didn't care about my thoughts or feelings. I feel I've lost the kind, loving husband I once knew, transforming him into this harsh, unforgiving person. I adore him completely and cannot envision myself with anyone else. I deeply regret my mistake every single day and yearn for my family to be whole again. I'm unsure if this marriage can be saved, but I am prepared to do whatever it takes. I'm not even certain what I'm seeking by sharing this. Perhaps I just needed to express myself, wishing I could rewind time and undo everything. Before I share the update, I wanted to include a powerful comment from a user named YouMeSeeks82, whose perspective on this situation perfectly mirrors my own. They advised, "Grant him his divorce. I'm trying to empathize with you. You're striving to make this work, but you made a colossal error by going home with another man due to your intoxicated state. You described him as an ideal partner. I believe he's attempting to rationalize your unfaithfulness, for which there is no logical basis. You single-handedly destroyed your family. He has come to terms with who you are now, distinct from the person he wed. I agree his emotional outbursts are troubling, especially around your children, and these are valid concerns. However, he is also a human being. He must live with the reality that the person he vowed to love, cherish, and be faithful to in front of loved ones, the mother of his kids, deliberately chose to prioritize her own desires over what you both had built. His feelings of anger and desire for separation are direct consequences of your night of pleasure. I cannot fathom his ordeal. You've made an effort. Now is the time to understand that certain things, once broken, cannot be mended. All right, now for the latest development. I spoke with my husband today. As many people have suggested, I had a growing sense that he no longer wanted to try and simply wished to move forward. Initially, I approached him intending to explain everything, expressing my understanding of his pain and acknowledging his desire to end the marriage and move on. So I told him that if this truly was what he wanted, I would accept it and allow him to proceed with his life, emphasizing that I genuinely loved him and always would. He simply stood there silently, looking at me. Then he came closer, embraced me, and began to cry. I also started weeping. This was the first time in a very long while that I felt a truly heartfelt hug and genuine emotion from him. After what seemed like several minutes of crying and holding each other, he finally released me and asked me to sit down with him. He began to tell me that he still loves me with all his heart and deeply loves our children, but he finds it incredibly difficult to forget and move past what occurred. He explained that his angry, furious episodes stem not only from his hatred of my actions, but also from the persistent, intrusive images in his mind of what I had done. He simply cannot erase them. He shared that many women had flirted with him throughout the years, and he'd had numerous opportunities to betray his vows, but that I and the kids always meant more to him than fleeting moments of gratification. He asserted that he could never have done to me what I did to him, saying he loved me too much to cause such pain. I broke down even more upon hearing his words. He then continued to tell me that something inside him was fundamentally damaged, beyond repair. He admitted he had been texting other women in recent months, but he never actually slept with them or engaged in any physical intimacy because he felt it was wrong. Hearing me tell him that he was free to move on was the first time he felt I truly grasped his inner turmoil and how broken he was. He told me he doesn't know what the future holds for us, but for now, he wants to be single, explore his own life, and perhaps we might reunite someday. However, for the foreseeable future, he needs to focus on himself, away from me. I told him I would consent to signing the divorce papers if that was his wish, and that I desired nothing from him. What he brought into the marriage belongs to him, and I have no intention of taking it. He earns significantly more than me, but I still don't want him to have to financially support me, so I also declined child support. Hearing all this caused him to cry, and he said he hopes he can forgive me eventually, but that a period of separation would benefit us both, allowing us to reflect on our lives. He mentioned he would retain a lawyer and provide the divorce documents within approximately a week. I will not seek out anyone else after the divorce, nor do I wish to. I genuinely hope he returns to me one day, so we can rebuild our family as it once was. I wish I could undo everything. I truly feel immense remorse and have just lost the one person who genuinely feels like my soulmate. I suppose I am getting divorced. Here's another insightful comment from someone who responded to this story. Let me know if you agree in the comments, and I'll share my final thoughts at the end. User Eros Tyrannus wrote, in certain aspects, your act of infidelity had both better and worse consequences for him. Better, because it wasn't a malicious act intended to wound him over some actual or perceived injustice. You didn't intentionally plan to betray your husband. Worse, because it was carried out without any conscious thought. It was an error. A very human error. I believe this is a key part of what your husband is experiencing. The realization that the woman he married isn't some flawless angel, but a real person with genuine human imperfections. I don't know what formed the basis of his identity, but if it included the belief of being a man whose wife would never betray him, seeing her as an angel or goddess, then that fundamental part of his self-perception has been shattered. The idealized image he held of himself has perished. So, who is he now? That is the profound question he has been grappling with. All of this while simultaneously evaluating both your actions and his own reactions towards you in the aftermath of this event. The partnership you shared is no longer alive. Nothing can ever bring it back. If your marriage was a thriving forest, then what happened was a devastating fire that consumed everything. However, I don't believe everything is lost. You must release the concept of your former marriage to allow a new one to emerge, just as a forest fire clears the old growth to permit new life to flourish. This in no way excuses your transgression, But everything I've learned over the years suggests that you must forge a new relationship from the shattered fragments of the old one. You cannot go back in time and recover precisely what you had. I know others on this platform have expressed similar sentiments. It's also possible he carries his own sense of guilt. I believe him when he states he never cheated on you, yet he did mention women flirting with him. Perhaps he entertained a fantasy, even a fleeting thought. What if I had an affair with this woman, and my wife would never discover it? We all engage in what-if scenarios daily in our minds. What if I won the lottery? What if I secured that dream vacation? These mental exercises can reveal just how capable we are of morally questionable actions. We've all considered punching that annoying colleague, or finally beating those friends who always win when playing games. His guilt might also stem from how he has treated you. Although you made a mistake, you have been diligently working to make amends. Even he can recognize that. Perhaps he thinks, she's trying so hard, but I just can't shake these images from my mind. Maybe I don't deserve to be with her because if I were truly as good a person as I believed, I would have been able to forgive her and move on by now. However, he might not have perceived himself as a bad person. That could be why he was treating you so poorly. It's possible he was thinking that if you left, it wouldn't be because he was a bad person, but because you were. He might also be uncertain about you. I can understand your uncertainty about yourself. Who are you? Are you the devoted wife or mother who has repented and sacrificed to repair what's broken? Or are you the woman who got intoxicated and had sex with another man? The truth is, you are both and neither. You are not defined solely by your errors. But you must critically examine those errors and ask yourself, how have these missteps shaped me thus far? And how will future mistakes influence the person I become? To evolve into the person you aspire to be, you might need to eliminate certain aspects of your current self. You didn't intend to betray your husband when you began drinking that evening, yet that's where you ended up. Perhaps you need to ask yourself, am I willing to discard the person I become when I drink by giving up alcohol to become the person married to this man? I'm sure many have already discussed the immense difficulty of rebuilding trust, but I don't think people always fully grasp what that truly entails. In his eyes, you are now human, flawed, just like him. You can make promises you might not keep. He understands this, as he has many memories of promises he himself has broken to others. How can he ever trust you again, knowing you are just as susceptible to breaking promises as he is? The answer lies in courage. He must find the bravery to open his heart, reach out, and trust you again, even knowing you might falter once more. And you might. Don't be naive. The future is unknown. You could very well betray his trust again. You are, after all, human. So, what should your course of action be? Possess the courage to strive to be the person who does not break his trust. Ask yourself what that woman looks like, and then make it your objective to embody her. And you should view him in the same manner. He is just as human as you, and because of that, he possesses the same human imperfections and can make the same human errors. I truly believe that for reconciliation, your husband will need to summon the courage to step forward and declare, I am choosing to place my trust in you again, even though I know you are capable of betraying me once more, because I believe the people we are capable of being together are worth more than mere trust. I hope that regardless of what happens, you both discover purpose in your lives. In my personal assessment, dear original poster, pursuing a divorce is the most beneficial path for both of you. He likely still feels defeated, even a year later. Your persistent longing for an unrealistic reunion is unhealthy. You only regretted your actions after the fact, not in the taxi, not at his home, not even during the act itself. Using alcohol as an excuse doesn't hold up, given you went home immediately afterward and confessed. I hope you found a new therapist to help you move forward. Announcing you won't be seeing anyone, hoping he'll eventually return, is not a good strategy in my opinion. You cheated so easily on a random night out with a man who flirted with you. I'd find it extremely hard to believe it wouldn't happen again, especially if you were single. Good luck, and I wish the best for everyone involved.